Charlie, and I can be your George. Let's bury the hatchet like the Beatles and the Stones. They'll play our songs forever on the radio. Let's bury the hatchet like the Beatles and the Stones.
We've talked about Natalie Cole and Maurice White and Glenn Frey and David Bowie. And the last artist that we want to talk about was not one who got credit on the record singing or performing.
We want to give the producer some.
We got to give the producer some. And we're talking about the most recent one that we lost, and that is Sir George Martin. Producer of other acts, other bands, but primarily known as the producer of the Beatles, even the fifth Beatle, as it was sometimes called.
Did a couple albums with America in the 70s. Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow it would be my outside the Beatles favorite.
Cheap Trick.
Yeah. One of their weirdest albums and a delight.
Yeah. And even pre-Beatles recorded really offbeat comedy stuff. Yeah. Sometimes stuff like Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
Really crackpot kind of stuff. But Martin's contributions to the Beatles, Martin's contributions were there from the beginning. When they were looking for, I think that was their first #1 song, I believe, in England.
He really when he first met them, he liked them.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure about their musical abilities, but he liked the guys. He liked the guys.
Their charm, as he put it. I was impressed by their charm, as he said. Well, anyway, they had presented him with. They were trying to come up with a hit. Please Please Me was originally much slower.
Yeah, you
and
can
actually
hear that.
more of a Roy Orbison slow tempo song. And it was Martin who made the suggestion of speed the thing up.
Yeah.
And once he sped the thing up tempo wise,
then
you had the energy. Then you had the energy there with the harmonies. In fact, Paul even mentioned later that he felt rather sheepish that first big hit of theirs was actually, it's like, darn, we didn't think to speed it up. That was actually George Martin.
Who's the real fifth Beatle?
He's the real fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
And, of course, with the obituaries that we've read and the tributes to Martin recently, it's so funny that even in reading some of those, I've learned stuff that I didn't know after all these years of Beatle reading. Just little tiny esoteric things. And my favorite, I've got to say, my favorite thing that I've learned was from the song In My Life.
Yeah.
And, of course, in the middle part, you have the great little... What I thought,
we all thought
at the time, was a harpsichord, which actually was done on a piano that Martin sped up.
That he played.
That he did play on. That is Martin playing on that.
Yeah.
And there, we can go through example after example of Martin's, producer contributions.
Yeah.
Some of them from off-the-wall bizarre to some of them very common sense. My favorite, the off-the-wall bizarre, was for John Lennon wanting the calliope sounds of some sort on for the benefit of Mr. Kite.
Make it sound like a circus.
Make it sound like a circus, but sort of different. That was all the suggestions. So, found old calliope music, cuts it up into segments, throws the segments up into the air, and then just paste them, glues them back together, and that's what you hear with the swirling sound and the bridge there for the benefit of Mr. Kite.
Yeah. Yesterday is the most re-recorded song in human history.
So you take a great band and you take a producer who made as many contributions as any producer has ever made on a rock and roll band's recordings, and you've got magic for the ages, for the millennium. And
the White Album, for instance, no one could have brought the then warring members of a band together to make an album that so many people love, and many people will put it at the top of the list for them. other than George Martin could salvage what were just factions of the band
What could have
and make it sound like a whole.
could have been 4 different members' solo albums?
Yeah. Right. And make it sound like a Beatles album.
And another.
I'll just
go ahead.
Lift the monolith here.
The monolith. Oh, the big Beatles box.
Of course, this is the stereo box, which is well worth having. It's a lovely thing. But I'll have to say, and they really should release these separately. This would be another George Martin accomplishment, is that much as, and Sgt. Pepper's not my favorite Beatles album. That would go to Abbey Road or Revolver for me.
For me, Yesterday and Today, Rubber Soul.
Right. But what if you listen to what was important to the Beatles was the mono mix. When they finally released these separately, the Sgt. Pepper mono mix is the one mono mix from that whole box that is absolutely essential. It is very different from the stereo version, and this is the first time I had heard it. You could have bought a bootleg of it for a long time, but it's really stunning what they do with the depth of mono.
He saw something in the group and was able to bring it out, and it was sort of, as Paul McCartney has referred to Martin as like being a second father to him. He was kind of a father figure to the band, and brought a voice, a perspective of experience, being rather an old hand, of saying, well, this kind of thing has been done before, and there are things that experience can bring to bear, even upon something that seems so new and revolutionary.
Never be too fast to reject the old school.
Yeah.
The one big fallacy of some of the punk rock generation: kill your fathers. And
they have nothing to contribute.
Yeah. And what we were hearing, because nobody would have played the mono singles on FM radio at the time, was those loud, noisy, weird separation singles that were released to the American market. And Martin is wholly responsible. All the Beatles cared about was the mono sound, which was going to be the one that was heard on the radio in most places at the time. And those records still just jump out at you from the speakers. It was like nothing that anyone had quite heard before. And it impacted me, having come through our stereo phonetic headphone era.
Yeah.
It came through. It came through on that level. They were just intense. They were freaking intense.
Yes, indeed.
Whether it was a ballad, If I Fell, or whether it was just, that straight out, I want to hold your hand, my love, don't give me presents. Just noise, just great, beautiful noise.
Yeah. I think on anybody's Mount Rushmore of producers, George Martin has got to be in that 4.
Yeah.
And he would be in my 4. Maybe you'd include Sam Phillips. Maybe there's 2 or 3 others you would include. But I think you'd have to conclude. Right. You'd have to include George Martin.
Yeah.
And for that alone, and his contributions, he will be missed. And what a great artist, a great helper, mentor. What a fine gentleman.
A catalyst. Someone who takes raw material and doesn't impose his vision on it, but works with the artist to bring out what is best in them out. People say that life is strange.
But compared to what?
1, 2, count it down.
Don't get me laughing now. Here we go. 2, 3. Last night I said these words to my love. You know you never even try, love. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just ask me how I love you.
für Laughing with Artists.
Yes!